Alright everyone, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Christina, aka That Writer, and today we're gathered here for the start of the end of an era known as WWE 2K22 Universe Mode. We are shaking up the rosters now that we are down to NXT and SmackDown. That is right, SmackDown has been upgraded from the developmental brand back to, well, being the B show, whereas NXT is the new A show. So we have 10 total rounds to go through after we introduce our champions on each show, and we've got a supplemental round at the end where each show, well, it's basically round 11. Starting out on the NXT side of things, we've got NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Over on Friday Night SmackDown, we've got Braun Strowman as the Universal Champion. Heading back over to NXT, we've got NXT Women's Champion Becky Lynch, and over on Friday Night SmackDown, we've got Tegan Nox as their Women's Champion. Heading back over to NXT, we've got MGK as the NXT Intercontinental Champion. And on Friday Night SmackDown, Bayley and Shayna Baszler are the Women's Tag Champions. Again, those titles are indeed cross-brand. And closing out, our current champions are Legado del Fantasma as the NXT Tag Team Champions. Starting out with the draft here on NXT, the first pick goes to Drew McIntyre. The first pick for Friday Night SmackDown is none other than Bob Lashley. Next up for NXT is AJ Styles. Coming up next for Friday Night SmackDown is Raquel Gonzalez. Next up for NXT is the Bloodline, so NXT will be getting the Usos and Roman Reigns. And to close out the first round of the draft, SmackDown selects Imperium. Kicking things off on round number 2 of the draft, we've got the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase holder, Asuka, heading over to NXT. The first pick of round number 2 for Friday Night SmackDown is none other than Edge. The next selection for NXT is none other than LA Knight. The next pick for Friday Night SmackDown is Tommaso Ciampa. And the final pick of round number 2 for NXT goes to the Visionary, Seth Rollins. And the final pick for Friday Night SmackDown's round 2 is Karrion Kross, who is the current Men's Money in the Bank briefcase holder. The first pick of round number 3 of the draft goes to The Way as they head their way back to NXT. SmackDown's first pick is none other than Beth Phoenix. The next selection for NXT is none other than Rhea Ripley. They've got quite a nightmare on their hands. Friday Night SmackDown gets the Queen, Charlotte Flair. And closing out their third round, NXT selects John Cena. SmackDown's final pick for round number 3 is none other than Goldberg. Starting the fourth round of the draft, NXT selects Brock Lesnar. Meanwhile, over on Friday Night SmackDown, their first pick of round number 4 goes to Big E. Next up for NXT selects the Prince, Finn Balor. But for their next pick, it looks like Friday Night SmackDown has a viper on their hands as Randy Orton goes over to the blue brand. And the final pick of round number 4 of the draft goes to Rey Mysterio as he makes his way back over to NXT. And SmackDown really shakes things up here because Friday Night SmackDown selects Dominic Mysterio, so the Mysterios are now split up. And kicking off round number 5, NXT selects Dakota Kai. And Friday Night SmackDown's first pick of the 5th round is none other than Kaylee Ray. NXT now selects Kevin Owens. The next pick for Friday Night SmackDown is none other than The New Day. And to close out round number 5, NXT selects Alexa Bliss. And for their final pick of the 5th round, SmackDown selects Roderick Strong. Starting out round number 6, NXT selects Trish Stratus. SmackDown's about to get a little bit more glorious as Friday Night SmackDown selects Robert Roode. The next pick for NXT is none other than Shotzi. And Friday Night SmackDown's next pick is none other than Io Shirai. And the final pick of round number 6 for NXT is none other than the EST, Bianca Belair. Friday Night SmackDown's final pick of this round is none other than Doudrop. Heading into round number 7, NXT selects the Street Profits. The next pick for Friday Night SmackDown is none other than Dolph Ziggler. NXT's next pick is none other than Sheamus. Friday Night SmackDown selects Tyler Bate. And to close out round number 7, NXT selects Carmella. And to close out round number 7 for Friday Night SmackDown, SmackDown selects Dana Brooke. And to start off round number 8, NXT selects The Miz and Maurice. And Friday Night SmackDown's first pick of round number 8 is none other than Lacey Evans. Back over in NXT selects Damian Priest. And Friday Night SmackDown's next pick is the tag team of Natalya and Tamina. And to close out round number 8, NXT selects Liv Morgan. And Friday Night SmackDown's last pick of the round is none other than Saray. Heading into round number 9, NXT selects Dominik Dijakovic. And SmackDown's first pick of the round is none other than Angel Garza. Coming up next, NXT selects Sami Zayn. SmackDown's next pick is none other than Xia Li. And to close out round number 9, NXT selects Jordan Devlin. And SmackDown's final pick of the round is none other than Rick Boogs. And to start the final round of the draft, NXT selects Mia Yim. Friday Night SmackDown's next pick is none other than Pete Dunne. Next up, NXT selects Ilya Dragunov. SmackDown selects Apollo Crews. And to close out the 10th and final round of the draft, NXT selects Alpha Academy. And the final pick for Friday Night SmackDown is none other than Wes Lee. Now, as mentioned previously, we've got 3 supplemental picks for each brand, and the first of those supplemental picks for NXT is none other than Mustafa Ali. The first supplemental draft pick for Friday Night SmackDown is none other than R-Truth, the National Treasure. The second supplemental draft pick for NXT is none other than Drew Gulak. SmackDown's second supplemental pick is none other than Omos. And to close out their draft, NXT's final pick is none other than Rob Van Dam. And the final pick for Friday Night SmackDown and for the draft is none other than Nikki Cross as she heads over to Friday Night SmackDown. And as we close out the draft, I just want to thank y'all super duper much for all the love and support for this absolutely ridiculous series. It's been a joy, it's been a treat. Let's finish out strong before we head into 2K23. So grab your snacks, grab your choice of beverage, get comfy and cozy, and let's finish out Universe Mode, y'all.